This is a presentation on Moyameya disease. So what we did in 75 cases in Institute of Neuroscience. Purpose of this study, and it was EDAMS, what is called encephaloduro-arteriomyosin angiosis. That is the name of the operation, which is very simple and safe procedures as compared to STMC bypass. And it doesn't require very high-end microscope or high-end expertise. Almost all the neurosurgeons can do it. Very applicable for resource-constrained places, clinically proven efficacious to prevent further stroke in Moyameya disease. And in this study, adults also shown very good results. So 75 cases was there, and children were 40, and within the 40 patients, male was 12 and female was 28, and adult was 35. Now, if we see this chart, the children was less than 18 years, where they presented with infarct, that means ischemic stroke in 33 cases, 33 children, and adult was 22, and total was 55. Hemorrhagic presentation was in 212, and hemorrhage and infarct, there was, the both was in 5 cases, and cognitive decline was in 1 cases. So pre-operative evaluation was done by CT scan, MRI scan to diagnose the hemorrhage or infarct, and then 6 special digital subtraction angiography to diagnose the Moyameya disease and to assess the ST and MCA, that is the superficial temporal artery and middle cerebral artery, to know whether it is ready for bypass or it is not. Then we do also MR perfusion scan to assess the cerebral blood flow pre-operatively with acetazolamide challenge, and also to assess the improvement also post-operatively, to decide also surgery whether we should do on the asymptomatic hemisphere. These are the examples of pre-operative evaluation. In this MRI, we can see there is a hemorrhage in the ventricle and the infarct also in the left-sided occipital lobe. This is the pattern of PSA, where we see the smoky appearance, and MR perfusion scan is seen in the lower range. So encephaloduro-arteriomyosin angiosis, it was done. It was called EDAMS, in which the superficial temporal artery and the muscle flap are approximated to the surface of the brain and sutured to the dural edge. And it was proposed and developed in 1984 by Kinugasa et al. So there is a short video where we can see we are dissecting the superficial temporal artery. This is the superficial temporal artery, and this is the surface of the brain covering, which is called the arachnoid, that is opened, and we can see very small blood vessels on the surface of the brain. It's called the cortical vessels. The arachnoid has been opened. There will be a little bit of bleeding surface. We are incising on the pia mater. So this is the pia. We are incising on the pia brain surface. So this that mild bleeding is controlled by cotton, and then superficial temporal artery has been sutured with the pial surface. So that is called the synangiosis. The arterial, you can see the dura here, you can see the artery, and you can see the cortex. So this is called a synangiosis, when the artery, dura, and pia is sutured. So anesthetic considerations was normotension, normocarbia, that means carbon dioxide level has to be normal, and normothermia to mild hypothermia. Post-operative evaluation was done clinically and also plain CT scan, MRI scan, and MR perfusion scan was done at 6 weeks, 3 months, and 6 months and 1 year. And DSA and angiography was done at 6 months. Outcome of revascularization was measured by regress or halt the intensification of basal Moyamoya vessels and also increase of the transdural collaterals and left meningeal collaterals, leading to increased perfusion and favorable hemodynamic compensation, clinically resulting in preventing further episodes of stroke in patients with Moyamoya disease. So these are the angiographic outcomes where Moyamoya vessels, there was a 57 patients, there was a regression, and 18 patients, it was same. And intensifications was 0. Transdural vessels, regression was 0. And in 75 patients, almost all patients, all the patients, we can see the intensification of the transdural vessels. And if we see the perfusion, in 52 patients, 1/3 to 2/3 part of the hemisphere was perfused, and in 23 cases, more than 2/3 was perfused. Clinical outcome was minimum follow-up. We did a 1 year follow-up. Recurrent hemorrhage was 0. Recurrent infarct was 0. Improvement of epiparesis and speech was 55. No improvement of deficit like vision and hemiparesis was there in 18 patients. Mortality was in 2 patients. This is the pattern of Moyamoya disease before operation. Results were clinically categorized in 4 groups. It was excellent, categorized in 4 groups: excellent, good, average, and poor. Where excellent was defined by patients who had completely normal and started their school or job. Modified Rankin scale was 0 to 1. Good was defined by people who have mild deficit, gone back to work. Modified Rankin scale was 2. Average and poor. Average was people who has residual disability, restricted work pattern. It was a 3 MRI scale. And outcome was divided into poor category, which was defined by people who are not able to work and a significant neurodeficit, which modified Rankin scale in which cases was 4 and 5. So functional outcome in our patients, the 48 patients, including 28 children and adult 20, showed excellent outcome. Good outcome showed by 16 patients, where 10 was children and 6 were adult. Average was 6. In 1 patient, there was no improvement, and in 2 patients, there was complications, and in 3 patients, there was a partial improvement of that neurodeficits. Poor outcome was found in 3 patients where there is no improvement, and mortality was in 2 adults. The complications in 12 patients, we have seen complications where hemiparesis, that is one-sided paralysis, was there in 4 patients, and speech problem was there in 2 patients, which was eventually improved. Wound infection was there in 2 patients, where one required a bone flap removal. Subdural hemorrhage was there in 2 patients, which was non-surgical. Was there in 2 patients due to the multiple bihemispheric infarcts. So our observation was that EDAMS was a very effective, safe, and simple procedure with excellent results. 83.33% returned to their job, school for the children after 6 months of surgery. So if we compare between the adults and pediatrics, in this study, they said the 100% pediatric patient undergoing EDAMS has a good outcome as compared to 68 patients with direct bypass. Whereas in adults, 100% patients treated with direct bypass had a good outcome as compared to 38 patients who treated with EDAMS. So this study showed a good response to EDAMS in 100 pediatric patients and 90 adults, but the good response was defined as the absence of new ischemic events after 1 month post-operatively. If we do a little literature review, Moyamoya disease is a rare disorder in most of the parts of the world, except in Japan, where the incidence was little higher, 0.35 per 1 lakh. Moyamoya disease is characterized by progressive intracranial vascular stenosis of the circle of Willis, and the disease is more common in females as compared to males. The ischemic type predominates in children, and less than 10 years of old, and hemorrhagic type is more characteristic of adults. It is extremely rare for children to begin with a hemorrhage. In children, headache is the frequent presenting symptoms which may persist even after successful revascularization. Epilepsy and involuntary movements are also commonly seen. So these are the bimodal peak, bimodal onset, first decade and third and fourth decade. Children presents usually with stroke, seizure and headache. Adults presents with hemorrhage and stroke. This is the Suzuki's classification of ICA, grade 1 to 6, and this is Mugikara's classification of posterior cerebral artery in Moyamoya disease. So these are the angiographic classification. Post-operative collaterals. Post-operative collaterals grading on the external carotid angiography with Matsushima grading, that is angiographic findings where grade A, B, C has been categorized, and in A, area perfused by synangiosis is greater than 2/3 of the MC territory, and accordingly B and C. The potential mechanism of Moyamoya disease, a genetic correlation where we can see the RNF 213 and ring finger 213, and these are all the genes which is related to Moyamoya disease. Secondary causes of Moyamoya disease, atherosclerosis, irradiation, neurofibromatosis, sickle cell anemia, Down syndrome, etc. So there is no medical treatment for Moyamoya disease. The role of aspirin is very doubtful, which is very debated, and surgery is the mainstay of the treatment to prevent the further stroke. And several surgical procedures are there, which is recommended in Moyamoya disease, which is direct revascularization, which is the gold standard. But sometimes because of the absence of artery or inadequate artery, and in case of children where STA is not properly developed, we can't do that. So in those sort of cases, EDAMS is the procedure of choice. And these are the references of these presentations. Thank you.